Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Happy Vlogmas Day 17. For today's video, I did bring you guys along with me to decorate a cake. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. Bye. One more thing before you guys come for me, sometimes when I decorate my cakes, I don't use gloves. I will just wash my hands over and over and over because it's easier to work without gloves when you do specific cakes. So don't think I'm doing this cake without washing my hands, okay? Don't come for me. I just wash my hands over and over, and I don't have to show you guys that in the video because I'm telling you guys now. So yeah, that's all. Bye. First, we're going to grab a cake board and put some buttercream on it so it acts as glue and our cake doesn't move. Now we're going to take out our 3 pieces of cake, our 3 tiers. We're going to cut them down to make them a flat surface. This is what I use to cut my cakes. I always wrap my cakes in plastic so that they soak up all the moisture. And I'm going to make sure that the level my cake cutter is at is a perfect level so I don't cut too little or too much of the cake off. In this case, I did have to go a level up. We're going to gently cut down our cake. Usually my cakes never break. It actually has never happened to me, but in some cases they could break. I always put my cakes either in the freezer or the fridge, depending on when I bake it and when I'm going to need it. You can take off the top of that, throw it out, or eat it, up to you. Now we have a flat surface, and this flavor is confetti. We're going to grab our cake board and put that cake piece right in the middle on top of the buttercream. Press down on it gently so we can make sure it really sticks onto the buttercream and it doesn't move at all. Now I'm going to grab my buttercream and color it the color that I need this cake to be, which is going to be a sky blue color. I use the brand Color Mill. That's my favorite brand. I'm going to go ahead and shake it because it is oil based and we don't want any oil residue coming out. If not, the actual color and a few drops go a long way. It did take more than these 3 seconds to mix and get that color. So now we have our perfect sky blue color and our buttercream is ready to use. We're going to go ahead and take out our turntable. This is perfect to decorate cakes. You need this. This is a must. Now we're going to grab our cake and put a small layer around the cake only, not in the center, because in the center we're going to put a filling. But if you weren't to put a filling, then of course you would put buttercream all over the cake. And again, just pretend like this is glue. So this is going to help the second tier hold on to the cake. I like to put a good amount. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab our filling, and this filling is cookies and cream filling. It's so good. It literally tastes like a milkshake, like a cookies and cream milkshake. Now we're going to grab our second tier and our third tier, and I already went ahead and cut them down to the level I needed them. I'm placing now the second tier, pressing down slightly so that I can make sure it really grabs onto the buttercream. Now I'm going to add more buttercream just in the middle to really glue the first tier and the second tier together. It does not have to look pretty. We will worry about that later at the end. Just make sure to put enough buttercream so that the middle tier doesn't move because it is a tricky tier. And now I went ahead and did the last tier at the top off camera, and I'm going to grab this plastic smoother that It's gonna help me smooth down this cake. I am taking off all the extra buttercream that was on there. I like to put a lot of buttercream. And yeah, as I was saying, I like to put on a lot of buttercream and then just take off the extra as I'm smoothing it out, because then if I don't put in a lot, I feel like when I'm smoothing it out, it starts to get like, it starts to take off the crumbs and then they start to show in the buttercream, and I don't like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take some chocolate letters that I made, put them in the front as you can see in the corner. Now I'm going to grab some graham cracker dust or whatever you want to call it. It's those graham cookies already squished down. I did buy it already made because I didn't have time to squish it down cookies or put them in the blender, but either way it's the same thing, and this is gonna act as like sand on this cake theme. And now we're gonna grab some edible images, and I did forget to mention, but everything on this cake is gonna be edible, so I love that. I already went ahead and cut down the jellyfishes, take off the plastic in the back, and then place them wherever you want them on your cake. I also forgot to mention that buttercream does dry out pretty fast, so you do have to work fast when it comes to buttercream. That's the only thing I hate about when I'm working with buttercream. And here I am just in my zone. What's funnier than 24? I think this theme is so cute. Here I'm just pressing down on the edible images because, like I said, buttercream does dry out pretty fast. So at this point it was already really almost like completely dry, that the images weren't sticking as much as I wanted them to stick. So I really had to press down on them so that they could dry onto the buttercream along at the same time, I mean. And I went ahead and grabbed some pearl sprinkles that I'm going to use to after the 24 as a like a dot, and then I'm going to add them around the cake as like bubbles, like under the sea bubbles, you know. And I am using some tweezers that I use for my cake decorating only, of course, so don't think that they're my personal tweezers. That would be so gross. When it comes to little tiny details like this, you have to use like tweezers or something to like actually grab the item and place it on the cake, because then you will mess up the cake if you use your hand or your fingers. Here I'm showing you how I put the image on top with the gummy burgers, Krabby Patties. And now we're gonna go ahead and add some what would you call it, like a flower design around the cake that is part of this SpongeBob theme. I went ahead and saved some extra buttercream at the beginning to get the colors yellow, pink, and green. And that's what I'm doing, just going around and making that flower design. Is it a flower? I'm not even sure, but that's what I always say, like, oh yeah, it's a flower design. Now I'm doing them in pink. Once again in my zone. As you can see, Mateo and my husband were in the back, and I'm just over here like in my zone. Now I'm looking at the cake, and I think I am done. Isn't it so cute? This is the final outcome. Everything is edible, the images, the burgers, the letters. No, papi. everything.